Time can be won, lost, balked, too short or too long, it can freeze sometimes, and above all, it can be measured in seconds in the international system. So let's discover the devices that can evaluate duration, and if some of them are familiar, some others are long forgotten. In the clever nature family, can I have the stars and the sundial? Long, long ago, men slept all night and woke all day, following the rhythm of the seasons. But as the daily cycle is not very precise or steady, men started to develop several time measuring techniques. So 40 centuries ago, the Egyptians divided the night in 36 decans, based on the movement of the stars, to help the pharaoh with his religious obligations. This complex and not so accurate system was simplified and reduced to 12 periods 4,000 years ago. At the same time, the Mesopotamians started to build sundials and divided the hours of the day using the number 60. Why did they use this figure? Because 60 has several integer divisors, which eases the astronomical calculation. So, how works a sundial? You take a stone base, you put graduation on it, you add a stick and you place it on the right direction in order to allow the shadow of the stick to show the right hour at the right time. Each hour has its own duration, which changes during the year because it depends on the length of the period of sunshine, which varies with the seasons. The difference is not so big in Egypt, but quite important in Europe. And if someone asks you, why is there 24 hours in the day? You can answer, because of the Egyptian night division. In the useful gravity family, can I have the clepsydra and the hourglass? Searching for precision, the Egyptians, again, invented the clepsydra, which means water stealer in Greek, a vase with graduation, filled with water, equipped with a float ball, and with a tiny hole at the bottom. The water level shows the elapsed time. The hourglass, born in the 11th century, works a bit like the clepsydra. Sand grains fall from one part of the device to the other, and the draining of a compartment always takes the same time. The advantage of the hourglass is that it can be used in difficult conditions, like on a boat, so the sailors took hourglasses on board for many years. The problem is that these devices give a duration, not a time, and they are not precise as time goes by. In the common baby light my fire family, can I have the hour candle, the oil clock, and the dragon boat? Invented in 870 by Alfred the Great, the hour candle was a graduated candle which showed the time as it burnt. It also lighted the room, which was convenient, but it could obviously be used only once. The level of fuel in the oil clock indicated the passing of time. And the dragon boat was a model of a ship in which incense was put. The burning of the sticks made a handbell ring from time to time. In the Mechanicist Fantastic family, can I have the clock and the pendulum? Watchmaking was born in the 14th century. In a clock, a set of wheels run by a weight makes a set of bells strike regularly. The first clocks didn't have a dial, and later, when they had one, it has only one hand that showed the hours. These devices were not very precise because the falling of the weight was not easy to control, and the clocks rusted because they were made of iron. The pendulum clock was created in 1657 thanks to the ingenuity of Christian Huygens and the talent of Salomon Koster. Using an oscillating movement, they obtained a result more precise and easy to set. But the pendulum clock was too big to be put on a boat, even if the sailors needed a good measure of time not to get lost. The first marine chronometer was designed by John Harrison in 1737 after a competition issued by Great Britain and Spain. The pendulum clock was very fashionable in the 18th century as a sign of wealth. In the modern time family, can I have the quartz watch and the atomic clock? Invented in 1933, the quartz watch has the size of a small closet at once. It then became smaller and replaced the mechanical clocks in the 70s because it was precise and easy to use. No need to wind up a spring anymore, a battery provides the energy required. But the quartz is not exact enough for the new technologies and especially for the space conquest. That's why the atomic clocks were developed after the year 1947. And they are now in all the satellites. In the middle of that mess, these options, there is a measuring time device that is so mysterious that only its inventor, and Confucius, could use it. What was this strange object and who was its creator? Born in 916 Aizu, China, Xu Hu is a statesman and an artist who served the imperial family for many years. As the son of a noble family and as a faithful man, Xu Hu works as a minister, a chancellor, and a royal tutor. He also supervises the construction of a palace and paints and travels. With scraps, Xu Hu assembles a time-measuring device made of a kind of a vase which leans when it's empty, stands when it's half full, and falls when it's full. Xu Hu is the inventor of the Yi key. And if you don't know what a Yi key is, don't worry, the way to use it is still a mystery today. When Xu Hu died, people say that he could have been killed by philosophers who wanted to get rid of a contradictor. But why suspecting Confucius, who was the only one to put the Yi key in history? On a beautiful day, Confucius and his follower were visiting the Duke Wan temple. As he saw a Yi key on the floor, he took it and used it to illustrate his lesson of the day. His conclusion was that wealth doesn't last. The proof was that the Yi key emptied when it was full of water. More recently, Xu Hu made a brief appearance in a book called A Record of Ghosts and the Livings and was portrayed in the historical movie How Much Sorrow Do You Have? Measuring time is a crucial issue because it's very important to organize the family, social and economical life. A very precise time, something like a difference of 1 second in a million years, is a prime necessity for technologies like the GPS. And if you need to know the exact time, forget about the speaking clock and give a call to the International Earth Rotation and Reference Systems Service. As this video is definitely more longer than the 8 seconds of attention of a human being, I'll see you in 172,800 time units for the next video.